Hi everyone, welcome to Vane Devlog number 5. We've got a lot to talk about in this update, so we're going to get right into it. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't, we don't spam, and we only put out videos of interest. Starting off with characters, we've added a completely new base character to the game. The new character supports male, female, and neutral appearances, more sliders particularly for body shapes, new skin tones, facial motion expressions which will be useful for NPCs, and visemes for lip syncing. We've improved the character creation camera by allowing you to manually toggle camera zooms at will. We've added a character menu to the inventory menu. This allows for a quick overview of your character, as we found some people were forgetting what uniquenesses or former occupations they picked. You can now sleep on beds. Sleeping on a bed sets a spawn point for your character, where you will respawn after death. In single player, sleeping advances time 6 hours, allowing you to bypass night if you so choose. We've added more ways to reduce stress in your character, as well as actual functionality to the stress condition. Watching TV, writing notes, and listening to music all decrease your character's stress level. We've also added a panic condition, triggered when your character gets surprised by a zombie or raider. This causes your character to aim worse, do less damage, and move faster. We've added an illness system to the game. You can catch stomach flus, influenza, and common colds as of right now. One example way to get infected is to touch doorknobs. Illnesses resolve on their own, but make combat and exercise much harder for your character. We've added some uniquenesses and occupations. You can now opt to have your character be unable to smell, hampering their ability to detect poison or cleaning materials in bottles. In addition, we've added 2 new occupations: bankers, who are better with money, and athletes, who start off physically more capable. We've designed some new retextures for food and cleaning items. This isn't a huge project or anything, but does get our world looking a little bit more cohesive. We've added cannabis to Vane. Consuming it reduces stress and increases hunger and lethargy. Food can now be spiked, with drugs or sharp objects, and there's a chance brownies you find in kitchens contain cannabis. We've created a new item spawning system which should bring far more performance to the table. In this system, items and containers are virtualized, meaning they don't have a physical presence in the world and don't take up nearly as much memory as they used to. You might see a performance boost thanks to this. You can now quickly dismantle items by holding down left alt and clicking the item in your inventory. This should help speed up the routine task of getting scrap for crafting and construction. We've added farming to Vane. You can dig plots and plant seeds in them. After a few days, the seeds will mature into crops that can be harvested. Plants require adequate water, sunlight, and temperature to grow. In poor conditions, such as if they're watered improperly or become dry, the growing plant will die. While we don't expect many players to use this system quite yet, it'll become more useful in the endgame when scavenging takes a back seat to rebuilding. We've added utility slots for equipment. Prior to these, stuff in your inventory just had an effect on you. Possessing a flashlight, for example, would cause your built-in flashlight to become brighter. You now have to physically equip these. Items affected by this are flashlights, radios, GPS devices, cell phones, etc. We've also added backpacks to the game, which expand your carry weight. We've added tree chopping to Vane, which creates a quick way to get large quantities of wood for construction purposes. Using either the fire axe or wood axe should allow you to harvest trees. Electrical equipment, like flashlights or radios, now require and consume batteries. Melee combat has been slightly improved with the addition of blocking using your secondary attack button. This significantly mitigates most blunt damage, as you'd expect. There are also some new melee weapon sound effects. Zombies are now sometimes stun-locked when attacking. This has had the impact of making melee combat feel much more responsive than in previous versions of Vane. At least, we think so. It also increases the challenge of multiple zombies. One zombie is easy to take down, whereas a group of them surrounding you is not so simple. Zombies can now crawl on the ground. If they lose legs, they'll fall down and start crawling towards you. Some zombies spawn as crawlers as well. We've started work on human AI. They're really stupid right now. All they ever do is see things they don't like, run towards them, and start punching or using a melee weapon on them. However, obviously, this isn't the final state of them, and they're going to be improved significantly over time, eventually becoming actual characters instead of what are essentially zombies. It's a start though. You can salvage items they have on them, like clothes or food. We've added radios to the game, both walkie-talkie style shortwave radios and long-range broadcast radios. Shortwave radios can be tuned to a specific channel, and a chat command has been added to speak through a radio. The radio channels are public, so if someone finds a channel you and your friends are using, they can listen in. In addition, once VoIP is in, you'll be able to talk over the radios that way. Long-range radios pick up media from any radio stations that are still broadcasting due to automated emergency systems, radio playlist loops, or just eccentric DJs with a love for music. We want them to broadcast emergency information and alerts in the future, but right now there's just one functional radio station. We're going to aim to get a station in the actual world as well that you can visit and control. Along with broadcast radios themselves, we've added a broadcast radio and general world media system. This is a system we're using to sync up radio and television broadcasts, and radios and TVs in the world currently use it. This means all players hear the same music on the same stations, and all TVs are broadcasting the same things across the network. We've changed night a bit. Night now passes 3 times faster than day by default, and server owners can configure this if they want. We've also finally added moonlight, so night isn't completely pitch black all the time. We've updated to Unreal 5.1, which brings some nice features with it. Notably, foliage can now be rendered with nanite. This means our forests now have better performance, while simultaneously not having level of detail pop-in, characteristic of most open-world games out of production right now. We've also added a wind effect to grass, which was disabled in prior versions due to an Unreal Engine 5.0 bug causing the rendering to jitter. We've added some more construction menu snapping. Crates now snap to shelves. It's about the small things when it comes to quality of life updates. Finally, you can now unlock doors from the inside. I know it seems obvious as a feature to include, but sometimes you just forget stuff like that. We've been playing a lot of Zomboid lately, which inspired us. We've made a couple small changes to the admin menu. It's now accessible in single player. We're going to attempt to move as many debug commands to this as we can and call it a debug menu while Vane's in development. We've added some common management settings to it as well. You can now turn invisible, no-clip, fly, toggle God mode, and toggle collision. You can now manually save and load listen servers. Previously, servers could only be auto-saved, but we think it makes more sense for locally started servers to be able to manage themselves. We've added a new feedback menu with public feedback and voting. This will let us know how strongly the community feels about certain issues. We can respond to issues with notes as well, for example, if features are in the next update or if we've decided to veto a request. There's also a known bugs section where we can provide info back to players. You can access that out of the game by typing /knownbugs on our Discord server, and we're looking to integrate the other parts of the feedback reporter into our Discord server as well. The vast majority of Vane players don't watch these devlogs and are not members of the Discord, so communication is generally one-sided, and we think this is going to improve feedback a lot. We've started work on vehicles. You can spawn the one vehicle in the game right now from the admin menu. It's completely broken in multiplayer, and isn't really meant to be used yet, but you can kind of see where it's going. Vehicles have gas tanks, glove compartments, trunks, etc. We don't know how many vehicles or what vehicles are going to be in the game yet. One vehicle we are definitely going to aim for is an RV, on which you can construct fortifications and build a mobile base. Finally, as always, each update contains lots of bug fixes. We just don't mention them usually because they're not really features. So that's it for Devlog 5. Vane 0.005 will be dropping on Steam shortly. I want to thank all of you for the support. It's been overwhelming in only good ways. Enjoy, and we'll see you next time.